Customs officers aboard Searcher are patrolling the deserted waters of the Atlantic in winter. These customs ships are the front line against international drug smugglers.
Well, we're currently about 6.5 miles southwest of Lizard Point in Cornwall. And just slow down a tad, bring them back to about 4. And we've sighted a sloop sailing yacht, which is heading in an easterly direction. We're within territorial limits, so we're going to send our red boarding team over there to have a word with them and to see where they've come from.
In summer, the RIB team board dozens of yachts a day, hunting for smugglers hiding amongst the traffic. But winter also produces drug seizures from criminals on do-or-die missions across the Atlantic.
We haven't seen any other yachts recently, so it's always worth checking as to why he's out here and no one else is at the moment.
The only way to find out is to go on board. Protecting Britain's borders is a 24-hour-a-day job. And in the Dover freight lanes, officers have to make instant assessments about which trucks to stop and which to let go.
And the danger is, of course, you say, no, this one's free to go, but you're thinking last night or 2 shifts ago, you know, have I maybe let something through? It's a bit of a game, you know.
On his 12-hour night shift, Alex has stopped a truck carrying salad, which unusually doesn't have a date stamp. It's small mistakes like this which can catch out smugglers.
It's hard to see though from the paperwork, right? This paperwork is pretty duff here.
The state of the trailer makes Alex suspect it may have something to hide.
Look. I thought it was a slick.
Yeah, okay.
It's to be a refurb. Well, not a very good one, but
we'll go drill it.
I'll look in the base first.
Right. Okay, chef, we go to Rampa. Rampa? Yeah. You drive. No problem. No problem, chef. We go to Rampa.
The driver's annoyed at being delayed, claiming the delay will ruin his perishable salad and he won't get paid.
Okay, chef, we give you document.
But a trailer like this must be searched properly.
No problema. Stop pretend no problema. Okay, chef, we're going to take a look, yeah? So go to Rampa. But in the driver's attitude as well, you know, when I tried to direct him to the base, he's trying to tell me he's got to be in Birmingham by 8 o'clock in the morning. We all know what the traffic's like.
Smugglers use any space they can to evade customs detection. Alex has seen plenty of dodgy vehicles and thinks this may be yet another.
There's screws missing. I mean, it'd be a pretty obvious one, but stranger things have happened.
As the excitement builds amongst the team, in the bay next door, another team have made a shocking find.
Yeah, is it possible to get immigration to the base, please? We've got walking illegal at the moment.
This team have just found a clandestine concealed underneath the vehicle.
You look from underneath the back of the lorry, just see a leg stick out.
We do not.
The shocked driver appears to know nothing about the illegal stowaway, who's still hiding under the truck.
Well, I was just checking the floor of the trailer from back, and I was just shining my torch along the underneath the trailer, and I could see a person's leg, a pair of jeans or something underneath the trailer. It's just someone sitting on top of the axles. It's a bit shocking, really.
Illegal immigrants risking their lives in this way is frighteningly common. Officers manage to gently persuade the stowaway out of his freezing hiding place.
Get out that way.
I'll take.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful pallet. Right. 5 pallet.
Yes.
Scared and cold, the man is surrounded and detained. Next, officers make sure he isn't going to pose a threat to them or himself.
Have we got one? Have we got a knife?
you have no weapon, knife?
No pistol?
That's okay.
No, okay. Do I?
A detention notice will be issued by the immigration authorities, and then Group 4 will come detain the person until the immigration authorities actually can come and process him in the morning, which isn't too far away now.
It's a sombre end to a long night, especially for this man and the driver.
You know, just shine my torch and everyone just knows it's a clandestine. We know it's an immigrant. When I say I've seen quite a few, so the driver's more shocked than me. And when we showed him, you could see he was quite upset, really.
The driver's truck appeared to be the perfect cover for this illegal immigrant, but his long journey will end in a night behind bars. Meanwhile, the angry behaviour of the driver on the other rummage bay means his truck will be X-rayed. Ben's team are now hopeful they too will find something.
I think that's the guy's attitude as well. Is not we're not putting us off.
Also on the hunt for drugs, the RIB team are now set to search the suspicious yacht. Customs officers have the power to board and search any vessel, but sometimes this invasion of privacy can cause tensions. The cutter monitors the situation on board, whilst doing background checks on the yacht and its crew.
It's like a nice enough couple, don't they? They've got their life jackets on and life raft, dinghy. Usually people are quite helpful and friendly, and they're quite pleased to see us and chat to us, hopefully.
The sailors may look happy enough, but on board they're venting their frustrations at being boarded.
This is the second time this has happened to us. Yes.
Is this recently, is it?
Well, no. Some years ago. Right. It was so intrusive. It took absolutely ages last time, and we had a sticky passage.
Right.
We arrived at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Some flipping customers boat with all else to do.
That's it. I couldn't believe it. At that time in the morning. Well, like I say, it should only take a couple of minutes.
The RIB team do their best to calm the sailors, while the cutter checks for previous offences.
Thank you.
Hopefully you won't see you a lot. We weren't too happy about us going on board. They'd had a bad experience with customers before, and they were fine by the time we left. Obviously, you're boarding a yacht, and these people live on those yachts for days and days at a time, so they've got all their personal possessions and everything out there and below. You've got to be careful when you're going into somebody else's home like that. So they were happy enough when we left. So.
The search may have been an inconvenience, but officers must take action if they see something that fits the profile of a smuggler. But most customs work comes from intelligence leads. In Gatwick, the intelligence unit has identified 2 suspects returning from Trinidad, and the officers are waiting for them. The suspects have been ignoring each other for the whole flight.
He's looking round.
This is behaviour often associated with smugglers.
Just behind the barrier. The guy in the khaki, he was looking around a hell of a lot when he came down here.
Yeah, he was.
Or while he's been down there. But disassociated all of their travel until now. Yeah, this is our 2 coming. Yeah, sir. Hi. Where are you from today?
Pardon?
You in from Barbados?
Port of Spain.
Port of Spain. Okay, can I have a quick word? Are you travelling with anybody at all?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You come on over for both.
Go on, let's just get it over and done with. Go on, strip the bags down.
Is this your luggage?
Go for it. Knock yourselves out.
Yeah. Is this your luggage?
Just knock yourself out. That's mine. Help yourself.
And that one's yours, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Did you pack all this luggage yourselves?
Yes, I did.
That's great. Has anybody given you anything to bring into the country?
No.
Okay, and you understand some things are not allowed here drugs-wise, of course.
Really?
Okay.
Like what?
All right,
Help me
that's
out.
great. Cannabis and all the rest.
Cigarettes?
Yeah.
Not allowed that here, no?
No, that's right. Okay, come on over.
The bag swab on the man in beige gives a hit for
So if
cocaine.
there's any traces of a test for cocaine and heroin?
It's right bad.
No, it's not worth it. If that's a true, I'll call authorities to rub him down. Yeah,
The man in black also gives a high score for cocaine. It looks like the intelligence may prove correct.
No, there's one final thing that we'd like to do.
Which is?
Search a person.
Sure, you didn't take my word for it, no?
Well, unfortunately, much as we might like to, we've got to be 100% certain.
In Dover, the salad truck with a suspicious flaw is about to be X-rayed.
Yeah, we're just scanning. So obviously, a load like that, we're trying to get into without ruining it, really. Or certainly something anyway. So, just the other scan and hopefully they'll clear it or not.
The delayed driver's behaviour is the other reason they decided to scan the lorry.
The driver's attitude isn't doing himself any favours at the moment, still. So, and obviously, although we've done the outsides and looked at the structure of the vehicle, it's always handy to have a second opinion, which is what this kind of gives us.
The team were initially convinced this was going to be a job, but it's looking like the team who found the illegal immigrant have had all the excitement for tonight.
No, it's like watercress or something like that. So it's very It's very live, all the rest of it, I don't know.
The scan quickly shows that the floor is clean and the cargo of salad can be on its way.
If you're out there, mate.
Alex and Ben send the driver away reasonably happy, advising him to allow more time in future. The officers then go back out to stop their next customer. Drug smuggling through airports is big business for organised gangs. Today, customs have a tip-off that passengers carrying cocaine will be arriving in Bristol from Amsterdam.
We've already had a word with immigration. Once they've been pointed out, we've got 2 officers that are ready to do the arrest.
With no idea what they look like, John's team are hoping to get a point out from immigration and will then stop and search the suspects.
30s. The lady has got an address in Holland and an address in the US, but we think they're both UK nationals. Basically, you can smuggle drugs in anything. We've had it in baby's milk powder, in tins of fruit, in tins of vegetables, meat even. They just adapt and improve their techniques, and we've got to make sure that we keep up with that and find it and keep it off the streets.
It turns out the female passenger is an American national, and the answers she gives to immigration's questions are already revealing lies.
The woman with the orange jacket on was sat down behind immigration, or in front of immigration. That's the woman.
She's staying with him at this address, travelling alone.
Super. I've got to go just in case he goes through. That's brilliant.
The passengers have split up, but an immigration officer at passport control identifies the suspect and gives John and Erica a discreet nod. The tip-off was that the passengers are bringing in cocaine. The lies at passport control are suspicious, but John needs to find the evidence or they'll be free to go.
Do you want me?
Hello, sir. Customs. You travelling on your own today? Who are you travelling with?
Well, my girlfriend, she's still the other side. She's American citizen, so she's been held up there for a minute.
All right, okay. And is this all your luggage?
That's hers, that's mine, and this is mine.
Okay. So why have you picked your girlfriends up then?
I have been polite.
Right, okay. You just want to come through with me then? And does she live with you full time, or is she just here on vacation?
She's here visiting.
Okay, have you got a ticket for your flight?
The man's admission that he's travelling with his girlfriend contradicts her story at immigration, and the route they've flown sounds like an attempt to avoid customs attention.
And you've come in from Amsterdam. Were you anywhere before Amsterdam?
Yep, Texas, Frankfurt and Chicago.
So how long have you been out of the UK?
It's Thursday.
It's all right. Are you married?
Yeah, I'm married.
All right, when did you get married?
Friday.
Well, do you ever use any drugs?
Nah.
No? What about your girlfriend?
No. I've done in the past, but I decided to get my act together.
Do you still smoke then, or not?
No, before that.
Well, you're completely clean. You must have a vice.
The female passenger has been interviewed by immigration and can now be searched by customs.
From Dallas to Frankfurt, Germany.
Right.
And then Frankfurt, Germany to Amsterdam. And then Amsterdam to
here.
Bristol.
Right.
Their flight plans match up, but the woman is very nervous.
I really have to pee. Is there some point, does somebody want to go with me to the bathroom? I just gotta pee. Is you gonna watch me pee? I just gotta go.
Because the woman is possibly carrying drugs, Erica must accompany her to the toilet.
Okay.
But it turns out to be just nerves. And John's bag search has also turned up nothing.
It was looking really good, because the woman at immigration said that she's on her own. He came down, started fiddling with his mobile to text her, picked up her bag and brought her bag through, where she was still at immigration. After, obviously, he may not have known that she had said that she was on her own.
Finished the bags?
Yeah, I'll do some testing.
The last thing to do is swab the bags for drugs. If this comes up negative, John will be forced to let the suspects go. Back in Gatwick, the officers are body searching the 2 targets whose bags gave high readings for cocaine.
You just turn around, raise your arms outside.
What did your friend do?
Is he okay? He seems a bit jumpy.
He's just a black guy.
Is he?
Weird.
He's not hyperactive at the moment for a reason. He hasn't been using on the plane, is there, or something like that?
For that front top.
Do you want to wait here for your buddy? I should imagine he'll get searched as well soon. I understand his base giving a reading to cocaine as well.
Told you before. What now?
Suspecting, but if someone can see it, you said, well, I guess. Yeah.
That's why he found a trace. I told him, I said the reason he found a trace in the laptop is because I was sitting there, do a bit and play on my laptop.
What's he saying? He's been out for a holiday.
Been out there for a holiday. He's used coke and cannabis, which is why the high traces of coke on the laptop there again. There you go. He's been well turned out whilst he was over there, and he knew that he was being stopped on the way back.
Do you fancy him for internal talk?
No, I don't think so.
Let's get him on the way.
Yeah.
Right.
The intelligence that they're involved with drugs was correct, but personal use abroad isn't a matter for UK customs, and the search for smugglers will have to continue.
There's a sense of anti-climax, because, I mean, you're looking for the gear and it's not there. But, yeah, next time.
Successful drug seizures at sea are often triggered by foreign surveillance aircraft who alert British customs when a suspicious vessel is headed for UK waters.
In February 2000, we became alerted to suspicious activity by the French Customs Service, who had been patrolling the western fringes of the Bay of Biscay. They did some basic checks, as they do in all vessels, and found out that it had been registered from Panama. They also noticed that there was a number of items on board which appeared to be barrels, which they thought was a little bit unusual. They got in quite close to it, and I think as a result of that, the vessel turned off its GPS, which the French thought a little bit unusual. They were suspicious of that. The vessel was heading towards the UK mainland.
Immediately, the French alerted the British cutters.
We were very fortunate in that we had quite a number of cutters who were actually in South Coast ports at the time, and therefore they were immediately deployed to the coordinates that the French were constantly giving for the vessel.
With no GPS, the aircraft needed to maintain constant visual contact with the vessel named the Deep Diver.
It was very important to continue to track the vessel, and round the clock, this was during the day and at night, they sent up light aircraft to continue that monitoring.
As the Deep Diver entered British waters, the suspects on board knew they were being watched from all sides.
The cutters who were surveilling the Deep Diver were able to observe the barrels being jettisoned by someone on that particular vessel into the English Channel.
The cutter crew decided to strike.
They don't know what they're going to find. It could be that there are firearms on board, and officers have met their death in doing this type of work before.
Once on board, the crew were arrested immediately. Meanwhile, the RIB team searched for the evidence. Their swift action recovered all the barrels containing one of the biggest hauls of cannabis for years.
And when all the barrels were recovered, it totaled 680 kilos of cannabis, which then had a street value in the region of about 3.5 to 4 million pounds. So it was a very significant seizure of cannabis. They were all eventually found guilty by jury trial, and they were sentenced to 9, 7 and 5 years.
Thanks to the cutters, 3 more drug smugglers were safely behind bars. Back in Bristol, John's waiting for the result of the last drug swab on the passengers from Amsterdam. The test result proves that the anonymous tip-off claiming they were carrying drugs was false.
Okay, what we'll do, we'll pack you back up.
Yep.
Quite happy, really. Yeah. He's very cool. We still don't understand why she would told the immigration officer she's travelling on her own.
So they got Pullman.
Have they?
Yeah. She goes for a long time. She's a visitor now.
Kind of.
So she's sent, which would justify why they swam.
But he's completely clean. Shoes, bag, passport.
But what began as a customs search has identified an immigration problem, and their contradictory accounts will help immigration with their inquiries.
But she said she was travelling on her own, right there.
Yeah, she's
at the inception point.
We're going to get her up, sit up nicely for us if you don't want. She's not this girl, it's that.
Oh, right, okay. I've just been to speak to immigration, and there's a problem with her passport in that it looks like she's doing lots of trips in and around Europe, possibly to disguise the fact that she's been staying in the UK for longer than she perhaps should be. And because she's made untruthful statements to immigration, it looks highly likely that they're going to be sending her back to the United States.
The couple are given the all clear by customs, but the female passenger will be detained, which won't please her new husband.
Immigration are keeping her there for the time being. They want to have a chat with her. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do to help you with that. I mean,
the thing is, I'm not just because of my appearance.
No, it wasn't that.
No?
No. I can assure you it wasn't anything to do with your appearance.
Okay.
All right? I mean, there are... Your wife has said things which are concerning immigration at the moment, and that's why they want to talk to her about it.
That wasn't why you pulled us in there, was it?
I pulled you in separate to your wife.
You pulled me in because of my appearance.
It had nothing to do with your appearance.
I'm afraid I think it was.
All right, but
you're being prejudiced.
Okay.
The man's anger gets him nowhere, and he storms off alone. She wasn't a smuggler, but the man's wife failed to convince immigration that she was a genuine tourist and was sent back to America. In Dover, officers have pulled a truck full of resin granules, perfect for concealing large quantities of drugs or cigarettes deep in the centre of the load, where even the powerful customs X-ray machine can't see clearly.
Well, it'd been scanned and we weren't sure whether there was anything there or not. We've been in and had a look, and it is because it's the granules are so tightly packed, it's very dense, it's difficult for any sort of X-ray equipment to break it down.
The officer spots that the bags in the centre of the load have different packaging, and there's only one way to find out what's inside.
Basically, it looks like the two rear pallets are clean, they've just got the granules in, because you can see around the edges they've got the green writing on, whereas when you get those out of the way, the inner stack, the bottom three sacks are plain brown, there's no writing around the outside, so I'm 99.99% certain they've got cigarettes in them. So all we're going to do is just cut open those. The only thing is the granules they've packed around it are just going to go everywhere, so we have to tidy those up later. Hey presto, cigarettes.
It's a sophisticated attempt to smuggle hundreds of thousands of fags into the UK, but thanks to this team's experience, it's failed.
It makes it worthwhile, especially when you've got to go to a bit of effort to find it. And it looks like it's going to be exactly the same all the way down to the single pallets at the front, possibly. It goes as far as there.
These ones dirty?
Those ones are dirty, those ones are clean. 17 by 6 by 3,000. The front two, it looks like I've only got 3 bags, 3 dirty bags in each. So it's the equivalent of 17 dirty pallets.
So it's 304,000?
Yeah.
306,000?
306,000.
Which means the smugglers have laboriously stashed over 15,000 individual packs.
It's not actually that unusual. A lot of the Eastern Europeans, for some reason, quite often they'll be broken down into the packs of 20, but then sellotaped into carton sizes by breaking them down into smaller packages. Obviously, they make it harder to find. It's always easier to find larger amounts than it is to find smaller amounts.
In Gatwick, officers are on the lookout for 2 passengers who've mysteriously split up at passport control.
But he came on his own, not with the other guys. Right.
one with previous charges of hardcore drug smuggling.
And one was suspected involved in a previous drugs importation, actually putting drugs, surgically inserting drugs into dogs, a Labrador, and then importing the Labrador from Colombia. Although he wasn't found guilty of that offence, so clearly not a dog lover. What's interesting is the two they don't appear to have come through together.
The two men tried to disappear in the crowd, but the officers have them in their sights.
Hello, sir. Where have you come from today? Antigua. Antigua. I'd like to come over very quickly. Oh, well,
Both men are questioned to see if their stories match up.
And what was the reason for your trip?
Harryism.
Yeah.
What, to visit my mum.
Okay, and how long were you out there for?
2 weeks.
Lovely.
You travelling on your own today?
Pardon?
You travelling on your own today?
Yeah, well, a couple of us, but the rest of them is in the line.
Oh, right, sir.
Did you travel on your own today, sir?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
With their known connections with drug smuggling, their contradictory answers warrant further investigation.
Around the edge here, some sort of thickness there, but it seemed quite heavy. So what we'll do is just pierce it very quickly and see if anything comes out. No, it's okay.
The drug swab gives a small hit for cocaine, and the two officers compare their findings.
He told me he's travelling with him.
My chap said he was on his own.
Right, the guy I've got said there were 10 of them over in Antigua. They didn't all go out together, they went out in various groups. Met in Antigua, 10 of them. And today, 3 of them have travelled back. Him, and he pointed to the guy you're searching to say that they are travelling together. So.
All right then, right, that's interesting. When I first stopped you at the start, as I was just explaining who I was and where you'd come from, and I asked if you'd travelled on your own. Now, my colleague just happened to be chatting out to another chap over there, and when we just happened to be out there at the same time, he said that actually this chap said he'd travelled with you?
Yeah, we're all together while moving on our own. But, yeah,
So when you said you'd travelled on your own...
I think even if I'm travelling with probably a woman or kids or something like that.
Right, okay, so, but you did... Yeah, okay. Was it just the two of you?
No, there's another one as well.
Okay. Thank you.
That's fair enough.
I'm actually, apart from, I'm nicking a bottle of honey, but apart from that, I'm completely happy.
Nothing at all, the guy I've got. He's quite relaxed, actually.
Yeah, so are you happy?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Finding nothing to justify a body search,
thank you for your patience.
the two passengers are free to go.
There's your passport. Have a safe journey home. Cheers. He seemed an alright guy. I mean, not nervous at all. More than willing for me to do the search, and because of his cooperation, we've got it done a bit quicker actually. So you want to catch people with drugs, but at the end of the day, you don't want to catch innocent people. So there it goes.
The war against drug gangs is also fought using undercover surveillance officers. In 2005, officers listening in on one smuggling plot picked up clues that another bigger importation was being hatched by 3 men.
It was carried out over a period of about 6 months. Some fairly intensive surveillance on a number of people, which included Simon Fisher, Thomas Little, Paul Phipps.
Undercover customs officers put the suspects under continuous surveillance. The officers began hearing hints of what sounded like a major drug smuggling plot.
Certain phrases were picked up by the officers while they were out on surveillance, and one of those was brave to do it, and the other was run. Run is a common term in smuggling parlance, one that we would expect to hear. Brave to do it really speaks for itself.
The officers were waiting for any hint of the next stage of the plot. The suspects' intentions became clearer when they were followed to a meeting with a pilot.
You saw the chap who turned out to be a pilot, Leith, make a gesture with his hand that seemed very much like a plane flying in, coming down low, and then taking up again. And this started to give us an idea of what was being discussed. Part of the surveillance took place in Etchin Hill a little while later, and on the seat of William Leith's car there was a map of the surrounding area, and Simon Fisher, Paul Phipps and William Leith went out looking over the fields. What we believe now was a sighting to try and find a suitable venue to drop the drugs off from the plane.
But so far, all Customs had was talk. They needed more concrete proof of what the gang were planning. The already intensive surveillance was about to step up a gear.
Surveillance was carried out by aeroplane from Bournemouth Airport, and in fact what we had was an officer in a plane shadowing the light aircraft that the smuggling gang had hired.
The plane drops down to what we think is about 100 foot off the ground, and then pulls up sharply and heads away again. And that was what we believe was a dummy run for their intended drugs drop.
When you're conducting these operations, there's always the right time to actually knock something, to actually take it further. And the team here made a decision that they actually had enough material.
But the officers in the UK were beaten to it when the pilot Leith was caught red-handed with the drugs before he'd even left the ground.
And he was actually arrested in Belgium with 63 kilos of cannabis in a light aircraft, which really confirmed our suspicions that they were intending to bring in drugs in a private aircraft.
The smugglers' plan had collapsed, and worse still, they were about to be arrested. Phipps and Little were taken out together, caught carrying a holdall and a box containing £400,000 in cash. Fisher tried to hide but was tracked using his mobile phone and arrested in a pub. They were all found guilty at trial. Little was given community service, but as the organisers, Fisher received 7 years and Phipps 5 years. It all came as a big surprise to the gang who were oblivious to the surveillance operation that snared them.
I was surprised that they were surprised. Certainly when we saw the defendants in court and they were watching the evidence that we'd collated, yeah, I would definitely say that they were surprised. I think a testament to the quality of the surveillance officers that we have.
In Bristol, a plane from Banjul has just touched down. Officers are on the ground hoping to catch any drug smugglers, notorious on this flight.
Banjul is a flight for us really, which is produced for cocaine as well as a couple of cannabis seizures have been taken from it. Anything which doesn't look familiar or looks out of the ordinary, it could be anything, just pull it off and pull over the passengers and see what's in the bags.
The X-ray can identify drugs, tobacco and foodstuffs. But to find out exactly which, passengers need to be searched.
Shows the brown, shows it was organic. It's, yeah. Another one there. We've got 3 bags so far.
The X-ray has identified 3 suspicious bags. But while the team wait to apprehend the passengers, a man with a small bag and a new suit tries to make a quick exit.
It's too suave. Just stop the gentleman. He's claimed he's been out there trying to do some business for a couple of weeks. So he's got folks on a suitcase. That was it.
The passenger's bag has been glued. Inside is an unusual object that Russ suspects may have been put there deliberately.
I mean, it might just be some sort of strengthener, but I think it's possible it's a strengthener. What's that there? Got about 3 or 4 compartments, this suitcase. Between the linings, it just looked like there was a bit tacky and a bit of glue along one little rim. It's quite well done. It looked intact for most of it, but it's just a little layer of glue. I've sort of pulled it back and opened it up in the middle, and there's a package within that. I'm suspecting there's probably other packages within the other bits as well, but I can't see what's in it at the moment. It's just a plastic package, but it's clearly something suspicious, so we need to just arrest him and take it further from there.
Have you scanned it?
The passenger is arrested, while Russ tries to determine what's in the suspicious bag.
Just test it for instance, see what we get around there.
What around Johnny's actual?
In fact, it's glued as well.
There?
Yeah, there. Yeah.
What do you think it is, Rex?
Could be anything.
Just think on there, right, okay.
And then go over it. Yeah, definitely. Up there. And right, which is if I include, you know, whether you like thumbs up, bicycle is fun. You ready so what? I picture you already.
Oh,
Pretty high.
The package within the bag is come up with quite a high positive trace for cocaine. It's possible there might be some other packages within that bag, but I'm going to need to put in a call to our investigation team to see what they want to do with it from this point.
Targeting the flight from Banjul has paid off, which is more than can be said for this man's attempt to smuggle cocaine, and his ordeal is far from over. In Cornwall, customs ship's searcher is on patrol. Skipper Colin gets a call about a Polish ship heading into Falmouth with a container of explosives being returned from North Africa.
How much are we talking about here? A 20-foot container? Right, yeah, okay, we'll definitely be there, mate. No
It's a race to beat the vessel into port, just in case there are any smugglers amongst the crew.
Yeah, we want to be there when it arrives, because that sort of, they're either going to offload stuff very quickly and get it off as soon as they arrive, probably to shore crews or shore parties, or the other way of doing it is to take stuff off just before they leave, so they keep it in deep stowage, deep hidden concealment, and then just bring it out at the last minute and get it ashore then. But the quick snatch and throw it over the side as soon as they arrive is quite a favourite one still. So if there is anything on there, we want to be there waiting for it.
The Polish ship arrives in Falmouth to be greeted by customs officers who want to know why the explosives, originally destined for Libya, are now being discharged in the UK.
Ready? And there it is. It's our...
The suspiciously poor paperwork shows no name, but it turns out to be a legitimate cargo, which was rejected in Egypt and is being returned to Holland over land.
What my team are going to do, they're going to have a quick look around the boat, a quick search.
The mystery of the container has been solved, but the officers also want to rummage the entire ship for illegal cigarettes.
The age of it, there's probably going to be a few hidey holes here as well, by the looks of it, that have been used before, so there's a fair chance that they might have stockpiled a few cigarettes for usage in their time with UK waters, so hopefully we'll find those.
Back in Bristol, the examination of the man with a bag of cocaine continues. The bag is X-rayed, and it looks like there's more than they thought.
It's good when all this stuff we have works.
What do you reckon that could be? 3 kilos or more? Yeah, which what's it?
Good job, Russ. But I did say I wanted that one.
It's a serious haul of a Class A drug. And before Russ can transport the arrested man into custody, he'll have to be strip-searched.
The only behavioural indicator that I spotted was him fiddling around in his pockets a lot, maybe. He is nervous. Yeah.
You go from top to bottom? From low to top?
I know we start to do the bottom first. Well, conscious, we have been authorised to conduct a strip search of you because of what you're carrying in your briefcase.
Not all smugglers act the same, but this man appears unconcerned by the seriousness of the crime.
Okay, if you remove your jacket and your belt to start, please. I was just saying, actually, it's amazing how cool he is. He's to get what he could be possibly getting at the end of this. It's amazing how he's so cool. I mean, he hasn't even raised his voice or anything. He looks really cool. It's amazing, to be honest. You don't know really. You don't know what they're feeling inside. If you was to put your hand by his chest, it may be a different story. But from the outside, he looks as cool as a cucumber.
The officers also search the rest of his bags and find 2 passports in other names.
Oh my God, there's got another one. Got another passport. Please.
The gentleman's in a significant amount of trouble at the moment, yeah. And he'll be handcuffed, put in a car and taken to Weston-super-Mare police station. He's just sitting there very compliantly at the moment. Hopefully he'll stay that way when we take him to the police station.
It's a great result for the officers, with over 3 kilos of cocaine off the streets and 1 more smuggler heading for some serious time behind bars. Customs officers are still searching the Polish vessel for any cigarettes being smuggled into the UK to be sold on the black market.
Now, you declared 60 cigarettes?
Yes, 60 cigarettes.
Where are those 60 cigarettes to begin with? Put them there. That's your declaration, okay? Not a problem.
Yeah.
Do you have any more cigarettes?
I'm not sure. I have 40 more. 40 cigarettes more.
That's all?
Yeah, that's it.
Woody's finding signs that the crew aren't all as honest as they should be.
Right.
Yeah,
just out of reach.
There's 100. Have you got any more cigarettes hidden? You put on the phone 200. That's 300. Any more?
No, 4 packets. I'm cabin smoke, cabin smoke.
Good. Have you hidden any more cigarettes in the galley? Yes. Where have you put them?
It's only a small amount, but it's often a sign of bigger things to come.
A lot of the time the captain doesn't know what the crew are up to. That's why the best areas to search are usually away from where the captain might go on a day-to-day basis.
The captain wants to sail on, but searching the ship could take hours, although there's no evidence of serious smuggling so far.
We've got the initial details. I mean, potentially it was a great big terrorist problem. We had hints that it was going to Libya. We've managed to clamp it down to being a legitimate company, doing legitimate trade, which is basically what our work's all about, really. Sorting out the bad guys from the good guys. Just hang on a sec, he's shouting something. You found 10,000.
Just as they're about to give up, they find a stash of cigarettes deep in the ship's hull.
The cigarettes were found up on top of that ledge, behind some pallets. So this place here was locked. You need to go right around the back there and over the top, and there's 3 pallets there. You go behind the pallets.
Who put them here then?
Sorry?
Whose cigarettes are they?
I don't know, you're first man on board.
You done his cabin?
I've done his cabin. It's clear.
Money?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, right. Oh, well, okay then, bosun. Santa Claus put them there, eh?
Santa Claus?
The bosun, we think, is the only man with the access to this area, but he's saying that everyone's got access to it, so we need to find out now who actually owns the cigarettes and who's put them up.
The situation is that we think there are more cigarettes on here. Now, there's 2 options. We can stay here and find them, and we are getting dirty, we are getting tired, we're getting upset. Or you can tell the crew to bring any more cigarettes to us.
But they didn't have any.
We have just found 10,000, Captain. And it's causing you a lot of problems if you don't get the owner for us and help us out by trying to find out if there are more cigarettes on here. Maybe you could have a word with the crew and tell them to find cigarettes for us. Or there will be problems with the company. And there will also be problems with the fine on the vessel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could mean a hefty fine if he doesn't cooperate. So the captain summons the crew to the mess deck and reads them the riot act, in the hope of identifying the smuggler. No one owned up, and as the cigarettes were so well hidden, the officers decide not to find the captain or the company.
We came on board this ship for the explosives, but also to search it in case there was any more explosives, firearms. So we didn't actually expect to find any cigarettes. But there you go. It's just one of these things, you know. You don't expect to find things, but it's a lot of this job. If you don't look, you don't find.
This smuggler's plan has failed, and the 10,000 cigarettes will now be destroyed. The cocaine smuggler in Bristol pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. It turns out he's also wanted in Italy for a string of other drug-related offences.